Speaker and members. Once again, we are back having this debate over opportunity scholarship. The other side likes to call it vouchers intentionally, but this is about opportunities. Opportunities for all children all across North Carolina. You have all been on record voting for this legislation. It has gone through this chamber, the other chamber, through the budget, and back and back and back again. It is extremely unfortunate and disingenuous that we keep hearing the same political rhetoric over and over and over about the Opportunity Scholarship Program. This program is about children. It's about families being able to pick what is best for their child. We do not need to set up a false choice between hurricane relief and public school funding and funding for the Opportunity Scholarship Program. The other side seems to want to present an argument that everyone now is going to be forced to go to private school, and that is absolutely false. It is extremely unfortunate that in education it must become such a partisan issue when it should not be. This is an issue about children. If you love your public school, go there, stay there. If your child is thriving, that is outstanding. But what about your middle child who's not? What about him? What if that school that works for your oldest daughter doesn't quite work for him? Should he have to go to that school? Maybe there's another school that has a smaller class setting. Maybe they offer Ortho Gillingham treatment for help if you're dyslexic, because you won't find that in public schools. This is about putting children first. It is unfortunate that we have seen for the last 2 years with this legislation the political posturing from the executive level all the way to here, and it's wrong. And it's shameful. We are talking about children. We are talking about families. We are not saying that this is all for wealthy children. That is factually inaccurate. The predominance of these children are in Tier 1, which is the highest amount. Most who reside are going to be in Mecklenburg and Wake County. The others, when you talk about wealthy and billionaires, you are wrong. And we need to stop the political posturing, stop trying to manipulate the constituents, giving false information repeatedly. We should not try to set up a war on public schools, school choice, and charter schools. They can all work together. It's not an either-or situation. I don't want to hear about the accountability piece. The accountability piece is the parents. They are taxpayers as well. So that's where the accountability, if a school doesn't work for them, they don't have to send their child there, but the money will follow the child. However, we have a predominance of our public schools that are rated with D's and F's. So if the accountability measure that you want to use is just a simple test score and teaching to a test, I would argue that is a fundamental difference in education, and a fundamental difference between what is good for a child and what is not good, especially if you are a mother of a child who has special needs. It is shameful that this rhetoric, it is shameful for our governor to try and set up a fight between hurricane victim reliefs and children. They are not the same. This is a great day for North Carolina. It's going to be a great day for families and for children. If you love your public school, that's awesome. I went to public school. I taught at public school. I went to private school. My kids go to private school, 2 different ones, because I know what's best for them. Every parent should have that opportunity. We do not need to set up these false choices and try to confuse North Carolina. It is wrong. It is disingenuous. It is harmful. If you want to make education solutions, then why don't we actually work together? Why don't you join? Why don't you share some of your ideas? Because this should not be a straight partisan issue. And unfortunately, the rhetoric, the posturing, the political theater, that's all it's made this bill to be. This bill is about kids and their families and their future and what is right for North Carolina. Do not fall for the different pots of money and saying that it's taking from the hurricane. Stop. We know what this bill is. We have been over this bill over and over. I ask you today to support all children, your grandchildren, my children, your future children, your constituents. Again, if you love your private school, if you love your public school, if you love your charter school, you are lucky. But there are many children who are trapped in public schools that are failing them, and they have been for generations and generations and generations. They deserve an opportunity of something else. They deserve that. And so that's why I stand here today to fight and advocate for all children, to put kids first. Stop the rhetoric, stop the posturing, and vote for children and for families. I ask you to override the governor's veto.